Hey guys, we're here on day 3 of Midsummer Scream. I've gone full spooky today, and we're about to have some more fun. The first 2 days have been great, and I am excited for what we'll see day 3. I have come to swear fealty to these beautiful vampire brides, maidens. About you. My queens. Did it get a little hot in here? So this is Art Sideshow. We've been to your guys' place. It's so cool.
Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Come back.
We will. Now, for those who don't know or haven't seen the video yet, which you should check it out, tell us a little bit about Art Sideshow.
Okay, so Art Sideshow, it's a life-size horror prop museum, and we are located in Montclair. We're open year-round. It's like a total photo op situation, jump scares, which you love, right?
Absolutely. They got me so many times.
Yes, yes. It's a family-owned business, so who you see there is, you know, family.
That's awesome. What do you guys have coming up in the future?
We do have Wicked Boutique and Creepy.
Thank you so much. I can't wait till we go back.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Bye. It's Jigs, our favorite scary Fred the Clown.
Dress as Chucky, you can't.
I know, I gotta be more powerful than that. I wasn't scared, it was just we were playing tag. And I lost. Oh, I think it's happening. legacy.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, it's my honor and my privilege to run the Lugosi business, and we own the rights to Bela Lugosi's name and likeness, so we license all these amazing products, and really our mission is to keep my grandfather's legacy alive. So we do that by reaching all his fans, which I'm so happy and honored that there's still so many. So
we all love him so much. I know that like Lauren's like pamphlets are probably in the crowd today, like really excited for this. What do you have a favorite movie that your grandfather's been in?
Yeah. Well, of course, you know, I always say we can't talk about Dracula because the icon that he's become because of that role that he created is like on a pedestal. So when we talk about, so of course Dracula would be #1, but I really like White Zombie, his role in White Zombie, and of course Igor in Son of Frankenstein. Which, you know, being at these shows, a lot of people come up to me and they say that's their actually favorite role of Bela's is Igor.
It's so good and it's so fun.
For those people who want to know a little bit more about Bela Lugosi and the man behind the cape, that's the name of the book that will be coming out early 2024. I can't believe I'm saying 24, but yeah, it's going to be the definitive biography on Bela. Really honest, truthful, interesting story with over 700 photographs.
Wow.
Many never seen before, documents and photographs.
Never seen before. That is so cool. That is so amazing.
Yeah, so it's Clover Press is the publisher. You can look them up and you know, follow us on social media. We'd love to hear from all of Bela's fans. We're at Real Bela Lugosi on Instagram or Bela Lugosi Official on Facebook. So we'd love to hear from you.
All right, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Contained is so very vile. If you wish to contain what's beneath, you must make my true face smile.
This sounds like it's a joke type thing. Okay, I got this. Okay, what do the Phantom of the Opera and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
What do the Phantom of the Opera, big fan by the way, and Winnie the Pooh have in common?
Yes. The same middle name.
Oh. If that's the case, perhaps it's a very common name.
Thank you very much. I think that was the final card. We've been doing really well in getting these monster cards.
Universal Studios Hollywood's Halloween Horror Nights. Will there be a glimpse of things to come this Halloween? Of course. Will there be a major reveal? You can bet your life. Here's the man with the sinister plan, all the way from Ireland. Please welcome John Murdy.
I should have filmed that for my kids.
Me too.
Let me start with this, okay? Thank you. Thank you. For anybody who does what we do with Halloween Horror Nights, everybody who works on this event, all the talented men and women, if there's one thing we know is that we are extremely lucky and extremely privileged to be able to do what we do and create what we create for all of you, because without you, I would probably be operating a puppet show somewhere in Dublin, you know, on Grafton Street. Everything we do, all the passion and the work we put into this event, it's all for you guys. So thank you for all your support, year after year after year. We've had a long history of creating original Latin American themed horror content with Halloween Horror Nights, right? Essentially goes all 2010, that was the first year we did La Llorona as a scare zone. And then of course we had the La Llorona Mazes 2011, 2012, 2013 we teamed up with Danny Trejo to do El Cucuy. And then kind of the second phase began. We started working with Latin American film directors. It started with Robert Rodriguez on his TV series From Dusk Till Dawn. And then Guillermo del Toro, doing Crimson Peak. And then 7 years. 7 years went by where we didn't really do that. You know, we moved on to other things. We started doing other opportunities. And then coming out of 2021, I noticed the plaza, the Universal Plaza, the way we themed that around Day of the Dead. And I noticed everybody inside it, and my brain, something in my brain just clicked that year, and I went, we gotta get back to this. This is what we should be doing. And so, last year, we brought back La Llorona, the Weeping Woman. So it feels like it's time for something else. The legends and myths of Latin America at Halloween Horror Nights continues with Monstros, the monsters of Latin America. Study this real well. There's going to be a quiz at the end, okay? So what is this? This is an all-new haunted house that features 3 infamous monsters, or monstros, which is Spanish for monsters, of Latin America. What's wrong with this picture? Somebody really screwed up. I'm going to explain that in just a second. But I did want to point out, right off the bat, right at the top of the presentation, an individual named Rose Gonzalez. And Rose Gonzalez works with our marketing department. So back in 2010, when we first decided to do La Llorona, I'll be totally honest with you, I did not grow up with La Llorona. That's not a story I was told as a kid. So I really needed to do my research. And we take our research very, very, very seriously at Halloween Horror Nights, no matter what we're doing, whether it's a movie, a television show, original house, we do a ton of research. But I've always used Rose as my touchstone for things that have to do with our Latin American houses. And now this year I've been working with Universal Studios Hollywood's DEI team. We'll give it up for them as well. Do you know what DEI stands for? Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. Should have been Diversity, Inclusion, Equity, because then it would have been die, and cooler for a horror event. But they've been a big help to me as well. And you know, back when the days of La Llorona, we turned to our partners at Telemundo. We turned to actors. We worked with Diego Luna, and he helped us out with La Llorona. You know, when we were doing El Cucuy, it was Danny Trejo. So this team had a big impact on everything you're about to see, because I'm going to walk you through a little bit of this house. Let's meet the Monstros. Tlahuelpuchi. This is a character that comes from the Tlaxcala region of Mexico, and it's really interesting because it's a witch, but it's also a vampire. And with any of these Latin American myths and legends, you know, they're all passed down orally for hundreds of years. In fact, Tlahuelpuchi, some people think the origins of the story go back to Aztec times. That's how old it is. But I'll give you the version that's the most common version, right? Because there are variations to the story. But in the most common version, anybody can be a Tlahuelpuchi. Could be you, could be you, could be you. You don't know when you're a little kid that you're a Tlahuelpuchi until you reach like puberty. And then things start to change, as they do. And you become aware that you are, in fact, a Tlahuelpuchi. So a Tlahuelpuchi has to do a very, very specific ceremony, and then it transforms into one of a series of animals. But the most common one is a turkey vulture. And it flies to the house of its victim, and it sucks the blood out of them. It doesn't bite them like a vampire. It sucks the blood through the skin, and it leaves these telltale bruises and markings. So Talalapuchi is the first of our monsters. And I'll give you a little facts as we go along. It came out of the research we did on this house. You know, as late as the 1950s, there was a particular doctor in Mexico who was trying to figure out why the infant mortality rates were so high in this particular region where this story originates. And he noticed, he pulled all these death certificates, and he was doing his research and he was studying, and he noticed that cause of death, all the parents were writing on it Talalapuchi, or witch. So that's what first brought this story to like larger attention. The last known execution of a Talalapuchi was 1973. Monsters are real. And I should say there are male Talalapuchis and there are female Talalapuchis. But we're going with the female Talalapuchis because they are stronger than the males. Girl dad. Our next monster is La Lechuza. Some of you were right on the internet. Some of you, I think they're doing La Lechuza. I have no idea how you got that, but you were right. La Lechuza, also known as the Owl Witch, okay? And this comes from all over Mexico, but it also comes from the southwestern United States, particularly Texas. And I'll give you again the most common iteration of this story. There's an old woman who lives in a village. And she's the kind of old woman that, you know, people whisper about, and people become convinced that she's a witch, so they put her to death. But she comes back as La Lechuza. So she's a combination old woman and a witch. And there's one particular thing the La Lechuza does that's extremely creepy. And again, you can go on the internet and read all about this. There's like endless Reddit pages about people's encounters with La Lechuzas. But one thing that it does is late at night, if you're in your house and you hear a baby crying, don't go outside. Because the La Lechuza can disguise its voice to sound like an infant crying. And then when you go out of the house to see what's going on, it swoops down and picks you up. And that brings us to our third and possibly last monster. And that is El Silban. I bet you didn't figure this one out, right? Nobody? Okay. El Silban, which translates to the Whistler, is from the Los Llanos region of Colombia, Venezuela. And it's another great story. Different iterations of the story, I'll give you the most common one. So there's a boy, which is really like a, you know, late teenager boy, living on a farm, fairly well off. He falls in love with a woman that the father does not approve of. And the father tells him, get rid of this woman, but he's in love and he doesn't get rid of him. So one day the father comes into the barn and he catches the boy and the girl, and he flies into a rage and he murders the girl. Kills her right in front of the son. The son flies into a rage and murders his father. And then granddad comes home, sees what's been done, and he takes the boy out to the field, ties him to a post, whips him repeatedly with a whip until the flesh falls off his back. Then he takes like limes and like tequila and pours it in the wounds. And if that wasn't bad enough, then he sets wild dogs upon him that rip him to shreds. And as this horribly mutilated guy is stumbling towards the woods, the grandfather comes up to him and hands him the sack of his father's bones, his murdered father's bones, and says, you are condemned for all time to carry the bones of your murdered father on your back. And he disappears into the woods, and he's not seen again. And then eventually this creature comes out of the woods that is now known as El Silban. And it's a towering creature. Some say he's like 10, 12 feet tall. Really, really skinny, carrying the bones of his murdered father on his back. And he's known for his distinctive whistle that kind of rises and falls. If you hear this whistle and it sounds far away, that means El Silban is actually really close. But if you hear the whistle and it sounds close, that actually means he's far away. So we'll give you a monstro fact about El Silban. Aside from the distinctive whistle that gives him his name, he is said to prey primarily on womanizers and drunks. You're all screwed. haunted house, apparently. When we were thinking about where to set this particular house, being that it's a new original house, we wanted to create a really iconic place to kind of ground the house in. So I started doing research. I did endless research, pulled hundreds and hundreds of images, but these two images in particular really stuck with me, and this is really what Brandy and Chris really latched onto as well. They're graveyards in Mexico. One's from Guadalajara, one's from Guanajuato. But I really liked, in the long kind of rectangular image, that Gothic Mexican architecture of that mausoleum. We thought that was a really cool element. And then the other one that I really liked was the idea of these sealed crypts that you see in the other image. So we created this place that we call the Cemetery of the Lost. And the idea here is that this is the place where every one of the victims of these monsters are buried. And it is a forsaken, condemned place that you do not go at night because the weather is always bad. It's always thunder and lightning here. Once your relatives are buried there, you never go back to visit them. This is the ground plan looking down, and that's a side elevation of the facade. You see the big, like, above ground crypt with the statue, but you see something else. And this is going to get back to that piece of key art at the beginning. You see the guy standing there holding the shovel? Okay, we thought it would be cool to create our own original character to add to this mix. And this character would be like the narrator of the experience. He is the caretaker of the cemetery, and when we're trying to conceive what he should look like, we were really thinking about like traditional looks for the Grim Reaper. So I pulled all this research. These are just a few of the images. Does everybody know what the photograph is? And don't say Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Does anybody know who that actor is? Very famous in a very famous horror movie. Max von Sydow, who plays the priest in The Exorcist. This is Max von Sydow back in the 1950s in a foreign film called The Seventh Seal, where he plays death. So we pulled that image, then we pulled images from Aztec culture, we pulled images from the Middle Ages, we pulled images from the Renaissance, all different iterations of death, put it into our mind blender, and then came up with this. So, this guy actually doesn't have a name. We never like officially named him. In our mind, it's kind of like those Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. You know, like he's always the man with no name who comes to the town and you never know what his real name is. So he's kind of our man with no name. But we were thinking, Chris and I, when we were working on this, we're like, well, that's just going to get annoying after a while. We're going to be in meetings and they're like, okay, we're talking about wardrobe for the man with no name, and we'd have to say that over and over and over again. So we just call him Muerte, which is Spanish for death. And he is going to be the guy you meet out in front. He's the pre-show, if you will, for this haunted house. He's going to be telling you the story about these three monsters. And he's designed with an articulated jaw so that the actor wearing the mask can lip sync to track. And you're going to see he's kind of the bookends of the haunted house as well. Time for another history lesson. 100 years ago, a legacy of horror began. This is 1923. This is a photograph taken on the Universal lot in 1923. The studio, in the silent film era, undertook possibly the biggest production of its history up until that point. A production that required the construction of massive sets unlike anything they've ever seen built on the lot before, or frankly since, including a full-scale replica of a large section of the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris and an entire French village. The film starred Lon Chaney Sr., the man of 1,000 faces, as Quasimodo, and literally a cast of thousands. In this picture alone, there's 2,500 extras in this film. This is 1923. The film, of course, is The Hunchback of Notre Dame from 1923. And the reason why I'm talking about this and showing you all this is last year, around this time, I started thinking about, wow, next year's going to be the 100th anniversary of Hunchback. And it actually came out in the movie theaters September 6th. So like, right when it's 100 years old, Hornets is going to open, right? So it felt like we needed to pay tribute and homage to the films that started a franchise that we know today as the Universal Classic Monsters, right? Because without Hunchback, none of this would have ever happened. So, once upon a time, in Paris, 60 feet beneath the city streets of Paris, there is an empire of the dead. The bones of 6 million Parisians are buried there in an underground catacomb. But something else is down there too. The Phantom of the Opera. Far beneath the Palace Garnier, that are known as the Paris Opera House, in his underground lair, the Phantom is still down there, and he's not alone. There's someone else down there too. Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, has literally gone underground. Meanwhile, in London, the local authorities are searching for 2 doctors who are involved with unethical, illegal experiments. The first doctor is Dr. Jack Griffin, better known as the Invisible Man. The second doctor is Dr. Henry Jekyll, whose experiments have led him to embrace the darker side of his nature, known as Mr. Edward Hyde. The Universal Monsters legacy of Halloween Horror Nights continues with the house we just announced on Friday, I believe, Universal Monsters Unmasked. Thank you all. I'll try to hang out somewhere out there if you want to come by and say hi. We'll see you at Horror Nights. Thanks.
And that was the panel. I'm so excited about all the new things coming to Horror Nights.
We need to reset all of the traps and clean them.
So we're really excited about everything we saw in there. We were wondering, as storytellers ourselves, bringing research and like monsters from different eras, how do you make them cohesive in the same story?
Yeah, that's like with Monstros, the Monsters of Latin America. First thing you do is you just do a ton of research.
Yeah.
And you learn all these stories, and you learn all the different iterations of these stories, because they all have a million different iterations.
Yeah.
But then you need to figure out, well, where are we going to ground this so that it all ties together? And that's where the cemetery comes in that I was talking about earlier in the panel.
Yeah.
This idea of this lost cemetery that's where all the people that have been killed by these monsters are buried, and it's a cursed place that you don't go after sundown, and it's always bad weather. So to us, it was like the magic portal. Like once you walk inside that mausoleum, it can take you to other places. And similarly with Universal Monsters, that was when we were doing research on that, I came up with the Paris Catacombs, and I was like, oh, this is great. They've all gone underground. So the whole house takes place underground, and that's how we encounter all these different monsters.
That's really smart to like set it in the setting to really ground
it's real
them.
history. I mean, it's a real place. You can go visit that in Paris, you know, if you can get tickets.
Thank you so much for
Yeah, my
talking to
pleasure,
us,
of
John.
course, always.
It was so great to see you
Good to see you too.
We're going to make some friends, but first I have to try and fit through the door. I'm a doll today, so it might actually work out. Oh, these are so cute. Oh. The fruit bats! They're fruit bats. I love the fruit bats. I really like the strawberry one.
Oh my god.
He looks so happy.
Look it. I love all of them. So funny.
It really is. Oh, these are fun. Everything here is so cute. I want them all.
Glow in the dark.
You are the Spooksy Boo. This is also cute, but also spooky. Like, what got you into like this specific like vibe?
So I've always liked all things spooky.
Yeah.
I love Halloween. And I definitely believe there's a difference between horror and Halloween.
Yes.
And I lean more towards like Halloween, cute ghosts, like the innocence of Halloween. Like I love remembering being a kid and loved going trick-or-treating, dressing up, like that aspect of Halloween.
Yeah.
And I also really love Kawaii culture. So
I definitely feel that, especially like we were admiring your fruit bats.
it's like a mashup. It's like if Walt Disney and Tim Burton had a baby.
It really is.
I love Disney and I also love Tim Burton.
That is so awesome.
That's what my
favorite like Halloween spooky movie that's not like horror but like spooky?
I was just telling my friend this, and I say we because I feel like my whole family's involved in this.
Yeah.
We love Hocus Pocus. It's
such a good choice.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And there's others, like, I really enjoy, well, if you can tell by my drawings, they're all cartoony.
Yeah.
So I love animation. I love Hotel Transylvania. I absolutely love it.
I feel like that's such a good like of like recent animated films. Like that's such a
recent, definitely.
Yeah, they're and like I don't know, it's so fun.
Yeah. Tim Burton, Coraline.
Yeah.
We did a collaboration with Leica Studios, the company who produced Coraline.
Oh no way.
Yeah, it's all officially licensed.
Very cool. So what do you think is like next for Spooksy Boo?
So I definitely want to continue to collaborate with other companies. We just dropped some items over at Hot Topic.
Oh.
So that's really exciting. Yeah. So more of that because I feel like that's the way to get my art out there.
Yeah.
We do so much. I'm on Instagram and that keeps growing organically, which is great.
That's awesome.
But being able to have my art go further out.
Yeah.
So definitely collaborate with other companies that I really admire.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Which is right now.
Your brand, all of this is so cute.
Thank you.
I love this. Thank you. In case of emergency, break glass. But what if you just want to go vampire hunting for fun? Can you still break the glass if it's not an emergency?
Why would you want to hurt a vampire for fun?
Only if it's a mean vampire.
Okay.
Only if they're not my friends.
Like they turned your best friend without her consent.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's when we'd go. That's when we'd go vampire hunting for extra fun.
Okay. Revenge
Vampire hunting.
So Barry's your best friend. Whatever.
It's okay.
Can you imagine Barry as a vampire?
Look at that Wolfman poster. It's so cool.
Glass. You want a piece of glass?
They're figures. That's cool. I'm curious.
I keep looking at this damn thing.
Ooh, that one's really nice.
And then once you have a lid,
These are so much fun. I think this is one of my favorites. Oh, your Elvira is so cute. Oh my god.
We do like monthly themes.
Monthly theme?
I'll do like 3 drawings each month.
Oh, that's
based on
cool.
that theme. So that was 80s horror.
Which one? So this was part of the 80s horror?
Yes, that was. This one was. And then I don't have a print of it, but I have a sticker. It was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I did classic horror monsters, which is this one,
Yeah.
this one, and then the.
I like your Snow White and Rose Red.
Thank you. That was the Grimm's Fairy Tale me.
I like.
Not many people will get that one right away. So they're like, what's this from?
Yeah, I know. I love how like like I don't know, like sisters like angry. I love it.
I like drawing angry children. That's my favorite thing. So
I know your Hansel and Gretel are like super fun.
they're mad.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, right?
They go through a lot. Oh. This is like, I love this like Cinderella that's just so tired after the ball and so done. She's like, I ran all night and I lost a shoe and this is, I'm over it.
And the prince wasn't that great.
And the prince wasn't that great. This is so cool. I like on the other side of the laser. It's really cool going through it. I just don't know if you guys can see the difference.
We can see the laser. They can't smell the smell of this fog though.
It's a nice smell.
It's like a candy apple.
It does smell like candy.
I just want to eat the fog.
Can we taste the fog?
Yes. Just crouch in it.
Your turn. You know what? My wife walked away.
Thank you. That was cool.
It's fun stuff.
So we're about to see Her Voice in the Haunt Community, a panel dedicated to women in horror.
Yes.
Hey guys. Hi. I'm Lucy. Hi guys, I'm Pasta. Say that one more time.
Tricks the Trickster.
She speaks. All right, guys. Well, welcome to Her Voice in the Haunt Community. This panel was created by Tricks the Trickster. She wanted to highlight women in the haunt community and their true impact. And we just wanted to thank Midsummer for allowing us this platform.
Filling up the room.
Thank you guys. Today we're going to speak to an entertainment project specialist, a filmmaker and a writer, business owners, and a freelance scare actress. Well, my name is Star, and I'm so happy to be here as the moderator, a fire performer, a scare actress, and most recently, the newest performance manager at LA's Haunted Hayride. As a performance manager at Hayride, I can still create memorable experiences for our guests, only in different ways, and push boundaries for myself and truly kind of step into who I am as this professional, now was scare actor, fire performer, and now manager. She is a writer and a filmmaker. Over the years, she's been capturing and documenting the progress of haunts and their builds throughout the years, posting them and to all of her followers. And this is Merry Imagination.
Thank you, Star, for that wonderful introduction. You are amazing. Hi, guys! Back when I was a teenager, I started my own production company called Imagination Productions. And here I got to bring my scary stories to life through the art of filmmaking with an array of amazing, talented people and peers within the haunt community. And it was just so wonderful bringing people together to bring these scary stories to life. It is such an honor to be able to do this. I absolutely love this community so much, and I'm so grateful to have found family through this community. You know, it's just amazing, and no matter what the ups and the lows and the trials and tribulations, it's all been worth it in the end and to this very day. You know what, you guys? My heart is a haunted attraction, and I'm grateful that you are all the ones to haunt it.
I loved hearing about that. Our next panelist is actually on 2 haunts this weekend at Midsummer. She has been working behind the scenes for years, all the while scaring in the trenches. You know what they say, the best leaders lead by example.
Oh boy.
Miss Pasta.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know, my name is Pasta. I have been a haunted professional for the last closer to 20 years now. I've been a fan of all things spooky. I've been, oh my gosh. I've worked at Knott's Scary Farm, for those of you who don't know. For those of you who do, I see a lot of you here, and I'm super excited. So thank you for all of my fellow talent who I'm looking at.
Now, Pasta's been in the industry for around 20 years. Our next panelist is someone that has skyrocketed in a short amount of time. This is Lucy with Deadly Sweet.
First of all, this is so crazy. Like, there's so many people. Thank you for being here and hearing our story. Trickster, for putting this together. Like, you did amazing, seriously. But my name is Lucy, and I own Deadly Sweet with my fiance, Chels. And the way Deadly Sweet came to be is so crazy and random. Like, I don't think it wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. And it's like so amazing. But before Deadly Sweet, or if you guys don't know what Deadly Sweet is, it's we make spooky themed desserts, like our coffin brownies with different fillings, our churro cookies, crunch bars, s'mores, like a bunch of spooky themed desserts. And we have a booth here at Midsummer Scream if you guys want to go check it out. That's where Chelsea's at. But so Chelsea had an idea, and she said, well, it's February, Valentine's Day is in 14 days, why don't we do chocolate covered strawberry boxes? And I said, okay, well, make me some and let me try them. She made them for me, and I died. I was like, these are the best berries I've ever had. So I didn't know this about myself, that I'm a little entrepreneur. Like, I got fired almost at every single job that I've had, so I knew that I had to work for myself. That didn't work. So I was like, okay, let's make an Instagram, let's make a name, let's make a logo, like let's make a flyer. And I just went crazy thinking of so many ideas. And we slowly realized that doing cute collections and cute boxes wasn't us, and we wanted to rebrand. And we said, if we rebrand, what is it going to be? Well, if you know Chelsea and her family that's here in the crowd, thank you for being here. They are the biggest horror fans ever. Like, I know everyone here is too. So we said, well, why don't we turn our business into a spooky business? It just skyrocketed from there. I was like, I want to do every Halloween show. And treats are just so much cuter when there's icing blood on it. Like, hell yeah.
All right, well, Lucy and Chelsea have really broken through to be a true success story. Now we're gonna move on to someone who's broken through barriers at 2 different theme parks. She created someone you all know and love, the one, the only, Trix the Trickster. Can I get a honk honk? Honk honk.
Thank you so much for your kind words. And it's such a privilege to be up here with all these amazing, inspiring women, telling our stories about how we all pretty much celebrate Halloween 365 days of the year. And what you see before you is kind of a final version, you know, of Trix. But behind the scenes, what you don't see is over a decade of scare acting experience and hard work that I've had to put in. I've scared and amazed for 5 years. Every year I put down Slider, Stillwalker. Never got it, wasn't my time. On my 5th year, I talked to my manager and said, you know, if you need another Slider, I'd love to do it. And he told the head of entertainment and decided to take the chance on me and make me the first paid female Slider at Fright Fest. But the biggest accomplishment today would be pitching this panel to Midsummer Scream. This is just an idea on a plane ride with my sister from Walt Disney World. And I was thinking, you know, there hasn't really been any panels highlighting women. And then I'm so thankful that Midsummer Scream, you know, took this idea, let us have this opportunity for each of us to highlight our stories and to hopefully open the doors so that more panels can happen.
What are some obstacles you faced and how did you overcome them? Trix, I'm going to go to you.
Well, I feel like I had to constantly prove myself in the field. As you heard in my story, it took me a longer time when the track record to become a Slider or walk around. Granted, you need to build your experience as well, but the track record of, if you see in an audition, you see me, physically fit woman, you see a guy, physically fit, same fitness level, no scare acting experience. The track record, they have hired, you know, these guys to teach them how to slide and not really give the opportunity to, because they've never had a woman before. So I feel like I've had to prove myself and put in those years. It's the opposite of what you normally see. You see more victim roles, you know, the sexy clown or like possession type doll characters. But I created tricks to have for the new generation so that there's a strong female slasher. You know, when you think of slashers, you just think of like Michael Myers, you know, Freddy Krueger. Where are the women that you think of? So I'm trying to break that.
You're definitely right. I definitely feel like there is this common theme that women are not scary as haunters. And I think I'm going to go to Pasta. Can you elaborate on that one?
Absolutely. Yeah, so to tag on to that, I think it's really important that we have inclusion. Not Scary Farm's icon is the Green Witch. So it is a feminine icon, and that is super important within the community. The whole story started, we're looking at knots in general, it's a witch. I mean, you can't really argue more than that. Like, even at Dark Harbor, when it was still a thing, their ringmaster was feminine presenting. Whether it was a, I don't know how the performance was. Peggy. Yes. Okay, great. I don't know who it was, but yes, it was a feminine. So we have those archetypes that we're not fighting against it. Like, let's dive into it.
Let's dive in. What message or advice would you like to share with the people that joined us today? We'll start with Mary.
Hi. One piece of advice, well, if you need help, reach out for help. Like, hey, bring people in and let's work together, bring something scary to life together. Because, you know, a film, a haunt, it's not made by one person. It's a whole team of talented people coming together, and that's amazing. Everyone in this community is so wonderful in their own way and so talented, and when we all come together, that's just amazing. And you know what? Just keep pushing and keep fighting and keep creating. Keep creating!
So my advice would just be to do something that scares you. It's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be scared, because when you do something that's scary and you overcome it, it's the best feeling in the world. And you just feel alive. So go start a business, go do that thing that you were like nervous about. Like, who cares? Like, life is so short. Like, just go do it. Yeah.
So this goes to anybody, take up space. And I think that's super important, regardless of who you are, what you identify as. Like, take up space. Make sure that you are heard in the room. I think everybody, as a person, deserves that. Take up the space. That's really what ultimately my goal is to let anybody is to, be present. And that's all I gotta say is, as somebody who's been in the community for a long time, like, it's okay to take up space. Even if you're not welcome in the room, pull up your own chair. Yeah.
So we're pretty much just hitting the nail in the wall, but if there's something you want to pursue, don't be afraid to go after it with full force. It will make you so happy because each one of us are doing exactly what we love. Another thing too, I just want to say is that we should all support each other. There's more than enough room in the haunt community, in any community,
Amen.
for all of us to exist and do our thing and shine and respect each other. That's my advice.
Take up space.
Take up space.
Don't be afraid to take a gamble.
No.
Perseverance.
Take up space.
Take up space.
Persistence.
Thank you for coming to our panel.
much for joining us for Midsummer Scream 2023. This is the end of day 3. We've done all of the things and we had so much fun doing it. Please let us know what was the most exciting part for you down in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. We will see you for this haunt season.